Casey Niestat, a factory fire, and the dawn of justice are all on this day. Welcome back to On This Day. Today's date is March 25th, 2022. It is the 84th day of the year. We got 281 days left. It is the 12th Friday in the 13th week. 6th day of spring, 88 days left until summer. You know all the rest. Aquamarine, Bloodstone, Jades, Aries. Today is also National Waffle Day, but more exciting, today is National Tolkien Reading Day. This is celebrated around the world on March 25th. Tolkien Reading Day is a favorite among fans of the renowned author, J.R.R. Tolkien, who lived from January 3rd, 1892 to September 2nd, 1973. He had a good run. He was an English writer, poet, philosopher, and university professor. He is best known for being the author of the classic works The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings, Silmarillion, and Farmer Giles of Ham. When I was a kid, and I think I knew about The Hobbit and all that, I hadn't read the book or anything like that, but one of my cousins told me that he also wrote a book called Farmer Giles Needs Some Ham, which I, for the longest time, thought that was the title. Then one day I was in a bookstore, I was probably like 25, and I saw it, I'm all, Farmer Giles of Ham, not needs ham. Anyway, J.R.R. Tolkien published more than 30 books, some of them after he died too. The author has sold more than 150 million copies of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and that number continues to grow. Great movies. If you ever have a hard time sleeping, they suggest either read or watch a movie that you've seen several times so your brain isn't actively thinking what's happening next. You know what's happening next, and it helps put you to sleep. Lord of the Rings is that movie for me. I watch Lord of the Rings all the time in 10-minute segments so I could fall asleep. Always had problems sleeping since the military, but this helps. It really does. 1519, Cortez enters the province of Tabasco, defeating the Tabascan Indians. 1584, Sir Walter Raleigh is granted a patent to colonize Virginia. 1655, Saturn's largest moon, Titan, is discovered. 1894, Coxey's Army, the first significant American protest march, departs Massillon, Ohio for Washington, D.C. It's a long march. 1911, in New York City, the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire kills 146 garment workers. Now, this was pretty much a disgrace. The Triangle Shirtwaist Factory occupied several of the top floors of the Ash Building near Washington Square Park in New York City, and by all definitions, this was a sweatshop. Workdays were 11 to 12 hours, 6 to 7 days a week, for little pay. It employed mostly immigrant women that had very few options to work. In the evening of March 25th, 1911, towards the end of the shift, a fire broke out in a wastebasket. A male supervisor tried to put it out with a fire hose, but the nozzle was rusted shut. Of course, at this point, the fire was spreading quickly. The factory employed about 500 people, and they estimate somewhere between 300 to 350 were on the factory floor when the fire broke out. As the fire spread, so did the panic. The building had one fire escape that collapsed as women were rushing down it, so it got some people out, but then it collapsed. They had 4 elevators, but only one was working, and it only fit 12 people. They figure it made about 10 trips before it broke down. The women that ran downstairs were trapped. The management had locked and chained the doors to prevent employees from leaving work early. On top of that, the doors only opened inwards, so even if they would have got them unlocked, the crush of people would have stopped them from actually opening the door. Women were crushed, women died of smoke inhalation, and some women actually jumped out of the windows from the 7th or 8th floor to escape the flames. This whole thing was under 20 minutes. The whole thing, from the fire breaking out to the end of it when the fire department got there and everyone was finally out or dead, was about 20 minutes. Now, fire technology at the time was not up to par with the buildings. The fire hoses and the ladders could only reach the 6th floor. The factory started on the 7th floor and went up to the 9th floor. The only good thing to come out of this was a turning point for fire prevention in buildings across the country and the world at this point. This was a serious learning situation for us as a people. Go into any office building these days and all the doors open outward if they're going outside. They're never chained or locked unless it's like a warehouse and nobody actually works there, just maybe a few people. Most buildings have sprinkler systems. And if it does have a fire escape, it is inspected frequently. 1918, the Belarusian People's Republic is established. 1947, an explosion in a coal mine in Centralia, Illinois kills 111 people. It is nothing but death and destruction today, it seems like. 1979, the first fully functional space shuttle orbiter, Columbia, is delivered to John F. Kennedy Space Center to be prepared for its first launch. 1995, WikiWeb, the world's first wiki, is made public by Ward Cunningham in Portland, Oregon. So if you don't know what wiki is, I just talked about this on a video on my last channel. Wikis are like Wikipedia. It's websites where people can contribute to them. And he's the guy that kind of came up with the whole idea. And the word wiki comes from the Hawaiian word of hurry, like fast. Movies released on March 25th, 2016, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. This was an okay movie. I'm not a DC Comics fan. I'm more of a Marvel guy, but I like this one. So if you don't know much about comic books, there's Marvel Comics and there's DC Comics. DC's got Batman's Flash, Wonder Woman, where Marvel Comics has the Avengers, the X-Men, the Hulk, Iron Man, all that stuff, Spider-Man. When I was growing up, it just seemed, now this is going to seem strange because the whole thing's made up. It's science fiction, fantasy, whatever. But DC Comics seemed a little too fake for me, where Marvel Comics seemed like there was a little bit of science or reality to their fantasy. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's hard to explain. It just, Superman can do everything. That just didn't make sense to me. Batman has a belt, a cape, and he always seems to have the perfect gadget for whatever he needs to do. But even though I'm not a DC fan, this was a good movie. I really like this one. Born on March 25th, 1981, my favorite all-time YouTuber, Casey Neistat. He revolutionized YouTube in a lot of different ways. If you don't know who Casey Neistat is, he's a YouTuber that he'd done some different things before, a lot of commercial filming, and he had a short-lived show on HBO with his brother where they just basically made YouTube videos before YouTube was created, and HBO bought it. Anyway, he decided one day that he was going to start doing vlogging. Vlogging before Casey Neistat was just usually a guy from the waist up, talking head, just talking about their day or whatever they wanted to talk about. He turned it into almost like little mini movies. I mean, there's 3 acts: the setup, the confrontation, and resolution. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown. Jill came tumbling after. You know, there's 3, every story has basically a 3-act. That's the basis of storytelling. Well, he kind of brought that to his vlogs, and it just wasn't a talking head thing. He had B-roll, he had everything. It was amazing. Before YouTube and the vlogs, he did a video called iPod's Dirty Secret, where he found out the Apple iPod, when the battery goes dead, it's just a dead iPod. You just had to buy a new one. He thought it was BS. So he made this video. There was no YouTube, no nothing. People just shared it via email and stuff like that. And he got huge. And that kind of led into the Niestat Brothers show on HBO. And then he started on YouTube. He did some things and didn't have a lot of success. He wasn't a known dude at the time on YouTube. Then on March 26th, the day after his birthday, 2015, he started a daily vlog. He uploaded a vlog every single day for 2 years. He might have missed a day or two here, but about 99% of the time, for 2 years, there was a video that was up. And I can't believe it ended in 2017. I mean, I started watching him somewhere around mid-2016 and watched every single one of his videos, and I can't believe it's been off that long. Anyway, he stopped to focus on short filmmaking, and he just did one about David Dobrik, which I haven't seen yet, and I don't know where to see it. Yeah. Very interesting character. High school dropout, worth millions. Died on March 25th, 2005. We lost Paul Henning. He is the creator of the CBS sitcom The Beverly Hillbillies, who also wrote for successful programs like The Mary Tyler Moore Show and All in the Family. He started off trying to be a lawyer in Kansas City. Went to school. I don't think he ever finished school. He is credited for pioneering and introducing the concept of rural comedies to CBS network, like The Beverly Hillbillies, Green Acres, things like that. Paul Henning died in the Burbank Hospital on March 25th, 2005 of natural causes at the age of 93. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a great day, and be nice to each other.